Starting at 10th in our rankings is Mario Strikers Battle League. Mario returns and he's bringing his pals with him in another round of competitive football. It's been 15 years since we got the last Strikers for the Wii U, and now it's the Switch's time to shine. Fans of the series might find its mechanics familiar. Gameplay still revolves around you as the team captain alongside 4 of your sidekicks. To add flavor to its straightforward design, Battle League adds the ability to customize characters that help improve their stats, turning them into a behemoth on the field. And as always, the game gets serious when played online. Co-op with friends and strangers is highly recommended as it adds a new layer of teamwork to the game.
In this house, we bowl.
Coming at 9th is Nintendo Switch Sports. Nintendo continues the tradition of an exclusive sports title in their flagship consoles. Switch Sports is the latest follow-up to the memorable Wii Sports. Featuring 6 major sports with golf coming out soon, Switch Sports is a reasonable excuse to gather your friends and enjoy the selection of game modes. Lending them your Joy-Cons brings a new kind of fun. Whether it's a casual game of sword fighting or a friendship-testing game of bowling, Switch Sports rekindles Wii Sports' flame despite losing a bit of that magic. 8th in the list is Rune Factory 5. The latest Rune Factory experience for anyone looking for that Harvest Moon and anime mix. Known for putting combat and adventure alongside love and farming, all of that is seemingly still alive in this new entry. As an amnesiac peacekeeping ranger, get down to business in their gorgeous fantasy world. The game is far from perfect. Despite receiving average play scores, it still received flack due to unpolished performance after its leap to 3D. It still has its moments where it exceeds its predecessor, and with continued support from developers, it might even outclass Rune Factory 4. At 7th, we have Fire Emblem Warriors: Three Hopes. A whole new Fire Emblem Warriors for the Switch. If you've ever played a Fire Emblem game before, don't expect this to share the same gameplay as its mainline titles. Its Musou-style combat may not be for everyone who enjoyed the original's turn-based battles. Nintendo Insider's Alex Seedhouse gave the game a 9, praising its gameplay and story, saying, "It delivers tactical brilliance with heroic thrills in equal measure." Nintendo knows what's up. Fire Emblem fans will enjoy seeing familiar faces, hacking, and slashing their way to victory in this medieval fantasy JRPG.
I have lived my life as best I could, not knowing its purpose, but drawn forward like a moth to a distant moon.
For our 6th place, we have Assassin's Creed The EZIO Collection. The legendary Ezio Auditore da Firenze graces Nintendo's hybrid console in this triple pack that's worth your buck. From his origins in Florence in Assassin's Creed 2, his liberation of Roma in Brotherhood, and to his final enlightenment in Revelations, this is more than just a collection of 3 games. It's a selection of 3 of the best Assassin's Creed titles before Ubisoft tainted them with hit-or-miss RPG mechanics. Despite being just a straight port, it has a few drawbacks according to Nintendo World Report's John Reardon. Nonetheless, it's still a great entry point for players to enter the Animus and relive Ezio's great life.
I was once a Jedi Knight, the same as your father.
How did my father die?
Coming in at 5th is LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, a game that's been around all our top 10 lists recently. This is the ultimate LEGO Star Wars experience. It contains the series' 9 space opera films, including a few from the hit Disney Plus shows. It's packed with the same LEGO antics the franchise has to offer, turning these titles into bite-sized adventures. It received a score of 9 from Nintendo Life's PJ O'Reilly, calling it a fantastic experience on the Switch. He further added that it's the best LEGO Star Wars to play. The 4th game on this list is Pokemon Legends Arceus. It goes against that trend and gives us one of the most exciting games in the franchise, said DualShockers Dean James with a score of 8.5. It's no question Arceus has evolved the Pokemon series into something fresh yet familiar. Its semi-open world and the freedom to seamlessly capture Pokemon gives a sense of zen, especially when you're playing on handheld mode. Although the visuals are something worth talking about, its core loop of catching, fighting, and collecting compensates all that. Arceus now acts as a blueprint for future Pokemon titles, and let's hope Scarlet and Violet will add to that.
Today, we fight not for glory or pride, but for survival, for the future.
For the third place, we have Triangle Strategy, Square Enix's spiritual successor to Final Fantasy Tactics. Triangle Strategy's 2.5D art style is familiar to most Square Enix fans, but its multiple branching story is the game's main selling point. Its complex morality system encourages players to make choices and live to see the consequences. There's a ton of replay value here, and the game's lengthy enough with all the reading like all JRPGs. It received above-average reviews from critics and users, praising its well-written story, world building, and of course, its tactics inspirations.
Do you understand the situation we're in? That area is under attack by D forces.
To second place, we have 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Vanillaware's recent magnum opus and the Switch's best non-exclusive game so far. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim is a love letter to the science fiction genre compiled into a JRPG about 13 angsty anime teens. It twists the genre into new territory, continuously confusing players with its intentional brain-teasing narrative. It's a game best played blind, so be mindful of spoilers. Its balance of visual novel and turn-based strategy combat may feel overwhelming at first, but once you get the hang of it, the game just casually flows. Reviews are calling it one of the best underrated games this year, making it Vanillaware's best work yet. And taking the crown for the best Switch game for the first half of 2022 is none other than Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Nintendo's iconic pink creature gobbles up our top spot. The Forgotten Land's post-apocalyptic setting adds a weird new take on Kirby's usual adventures, but thankfully, Kirby's abilities come in quite handy. This is also Kirby's first major leap to a full 3D world. The platformers are still around, but with more movement options. Its puzzles and levels get more complicated. The new mouthful mode solves most of the game's problems. Eating things and turning into them is pretty disturbing at first, but after hours of playing, it kinda gets cuter. It's a must-buy Switch game for all ages. If you're looking to take a quick break from the stress of the world and everyday life, Kirby in the Forgotten Land is for you, according to Shack News' Morgan Shaver.